Happy Thursday. So we are just short of 2 weeks out from Christmas and around the hustle and bustle of the season. And really, what is the season about, right? So here's just a little bit of a story time for you today. As I read an article of a New York City cab driver, he was reflecting on his career and as focusing on his last days, as my dogs are like going crazy. Sorry about them. All right, so here's a little bit of a story time. This New York City cab driver, he was on his last stop of the day. And so he got in front of this house and he honked and nobody came out. And then he honked again and nobody came out. So he's thinking to himself, well, it's my last stop of the night. I'll just leave. I don't need to wait. But a little voice inside of him said, no, I'll go in and I'll knock on the door. So he went up to the door, he knocked, and little frail footsteps coming to the door. So this little frail lady in her 90s opened the door. She was in a cute little print dress. She had a little pillbox hat on, a little veil over her face. And he looked around her apartment and there were like sheets on the furniture, everything taken off the walls, like nobody had lived there for years. And she had her little nylon suitcase ready to go. So she's like, can you help me carry this to the car? And so he helped her out her door and walked her down the sidewalk to the car. And she said, thank you so much for helping me. And he says, you don't need to thank me. It's nothing that I would not do for my own mother. And I try to treat my clients as if they were my own mom. She's like, oh, you're such a good boy. And so they get into the car and he plugs into the address. And she says, can you please take me through downtown? And he says, well, that's a long way around. And she says, it's okay, I have time. I'm going to hospice. I have no family left, and my doctor says I don't have very much time left. And so then he reached over and he hit his meter and he stopped it from running. And he says, where would you like to go? So they went through downtown and she passed an old building where she used to be an elevator attendant. And then they passed a neighborhood, went through that neighborhood where her and her husband were newlyweds. And then they passed an old furniture building that she used to take ballroom lessons in. And so they spent about 2 hours just going through her transition of life. And she says, I'm tired now. You can take me to where I need to go. And so he dropped her off in front of this little low-rise building. And there were 2 orderlies there waiting for her with a little wheelchair. And she said, she turned to the cab driver and she said, thank you so much. How much do I owe you? And he said, nothing. She says, well, you have to make a living. He says, it's okay. I have other people I need to take. So she said, you gave this little old lady the greatest joy ever right now. And he reached down and he gave her a hug. So the moral of that story is, it is not about thinking, what is the greatest moment in my life, or what are the greatest moments? Sometimes the greatest moments in our lives are those little ones that you can make an impact on somebody else. Because I want you to remember as you go about your day today, that it's not what you say. People will not remember that. People will not remember what you do, but they will always remember how you made them feel. My mom and dad are in a retirement home also, and I can tell you, when my husband and I walk in there, and everybody in their 80s and 90s, when you walk in there with a smile on your face, sometimes that's all they need. So in our hustle and bustle and the stress of this Christmas time, I want you to remember really what it is about. And it's about just making somebody else's life better. Making maybe their last days a little bit better, because you don't know if tomorrow is going to come for them. So as we go about this Christmas season, remember, it's about the smile on your face. It's about being grateful for what you have in this very moment, and about who you can make the most impact on. Hope you guys have a great, awesome Thursday. Say some kind words to somebody as you are out and about today. And remember, you never know whose life you can change with just a smile. Have a great day.